From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Canadians will find out later today just who is replacing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as head of the Liberal Party of Canada. Mark Carney is believed to be the front-runner, but his closest rival, Chrystia Freeland, is saying don't rule her out. Karina Gould and Frank Baylis round out the field. One of the four will be elected by the membership today, with a federal election expected soon after. Saskatchewan's premier says the province's canola industry is being put in the line of fire due to tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. Scott Moe says the tariffs have been put in place to protect North American EVs, which he says few can afford. Beijing just announced retaliatory tariffs on select Canadian farm imports, including 100% tariffs on canola oil and peas, and 25% tariffs on pork and aquatic products. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is praising the strength and determination displayed by the families of two slain First Nations women after the remains of one of them was found in a Winnipeg area landfill. RCMP have confirmed the remains found at the Prairie Green facility belonged to 39-year-old Morgan Harris. A search of the landfill started in December for the remains of Harris and another murder victim, Mercedes Myron. Kinew says he's hoping the family of Harris can now move forward. Overseas now, where Russian airstrikes overnight have killed at least 20 people and left dozens injured across multiple towns in Ukraine. This comes after the Trump administration froze military aid to Ukraine and cut off its access to commercial satellite imagery. Former U.S. Defense Department official Mick Mulroy says Russia is clearly capitalizing on the American about-face.
When it comes to the intelligence pause, that has an immediate effect. And Russia took advantage of it by launching a substantial aerial bombardment.
Just ahead of the weekend, U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that he was planning to impose large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final peace settlement is reached. Pope Francis's recovery from double pneumonia is continuing as doctors say they have some positive news to report. After more than 3 weeks in hospital, they say the 88-year-old spiritual leader is responding well to treatment and has shown a gradual, slight improvement in recent days. For the fourth Sunday in a row, the Pope will not appear for his weekly noon blessing, although the Vatican planned to distribute the text he would have delivered if he were well enough. And finally, south of the border in Washington, U.S. House Republicans have introduced a new spending bill ahead of a possible partial government shutdown on Friday.
House GOP leaders unveiling their stopgap funding bill on Saturday that will fund the government through the end of September. But it will be a challenge to get the bill through both chambers before the March 14th deadline. Democrats are not on board, which means House Speaker Mike Johnson will need near unanimous support. President Trump urging all Republicans in Congress to vote yes, writing on his Truth Social site, "We must remain united." Johnny Fernandez, ABC News.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, starting off in the NHL, Nathan MacKinnon's power play goal with under 5 minutes left in the third snapped a 4-4 tie and lifted the Colorado Avalanche to a 7-4 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Leafs, Mitch Marner and John Tavares both scored twice, while Austin Matthews had 3 assists in the loss. Taking a look around the league, the Oilers edged out the Stars 5-4 with Zach Hyman scoring a pair of goals and an assist for Edmonton. The Calgary Flames, meantime, blanked the visiting Montreal Canadiens 1-0. Over to the NBA now, where the Toronto Raptors came up short to the Washington Wizards, 118-117 the loss. R.J. Barrett of Mississauga, Ontario, had 23 points and 9 rebounds as Toronto had its 3-game win streak snapped. And finally, in MLS action, a pair of second-half goals lifted FC Cincinnati to a 2-0 win over Toronto FC, who remain winless after 3 league games with 2 losses and a draw. And the Vancouver Whitecaps posted a 2-0 victory over CF Montreal. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.